Hello, listener. My name is Eric, and I am here to read to you the first and last pages of every book in my shelf. One night, when I had tasted bitterness, I went out on the hill. Dark heather shacked my feet. Below marched the suburban lamps. Windows, their curtains drawn, were shut eyes inwardly watching the lives of dreams. Beyond the sea-level darkness, a lighthouse pulsed. Overhead, obscurity. I distinguished our own house, our islet, in the tumultuous and bitter currents of the world. There for a decade and a half, we too, so different in quality, had grown in and into one another for mutual support and nourishment. An intricate symbiosis. There daily we planned our several undertakings and recorded the day's oddities and vexations. The letters piled up to be answered, socks to be darned. There the children were born, those sudden new lives. There under the roof, our own two lives, recalcitrant sometimes to one another, were all the while thankfully one larger, more conscious life than either alone. All this surely was good, yet there was bitterness. And bitterness not only invaded us from the world, it welled up also within our own magic circle. For horror at our futility, at our own unreality, if not only at the world's delirium, had driven me out onto the hill. We were always hurrying from one little urgent task to another, but the upshot was insubstantial. Had we perhaps misconceived our whole existence? Were we, as it were, living from false premises? And in particular this partnership of ours, this seemingly so well-based fulcrum for activity in the world, was it all after all nothing for a little eddy of complacent and ingrown domesticity, ineffectively whirling on the surface of the great flux, having in itself no depth of being and no significance? Had we perhaps, after all, deceived ourselves? Behind those wrapped windows did we, like so many others, indeed, live only a dream? In a sick world, even the hail are sick, and we too, spinning in our little life, mostly by rote, seldom with clear cognizance, seldom with firm intent, were products of a sick world. Yet this life of ours was not all sheer and barren fantasy. Was it not spun from the actual fibers of reality, which we gathered in with all the comings and goings through our door, all our traffic with the suburb and the city, and with the remoter cities, and with the ends of the earth? And were we not spinning together an authentic expression of our own nature? Did not our life issue daily as more or less firm threads of active living, and mesh itself into the growing web, the intricate ever-proliferating pattern of mankind? I considered us with quiet interest and a kind of amused awe. How could I describe our relationship, even to myself, without either disparaging it or insulting it with the tawdry decoration of sentimentality? For this, our delicate balance of dependence and independence, this coolly critical, shrewdly ridiculing but loving mutual contact, was surely a microcosm of a true community, was after all in its simple style an actual and living example of that high goal which the world seeks. The whole world, the whole universe, overhead, obscurity unveiled a star, one tremulous arrow of light, projected how many thousands of years ago, now stung my eyes with a vision, and my heart with fear. For in such a universe as this, what significance could there be in our fortuitous, our frail, our evanescent community? But now, irrationally, I was seized by a strange worship. Not, surely, of the star, that mere furnace which mere distance falsely sanctified, but of something other, which the dire contrast of the star and us signified to the heart Yet, what could thus be signified? Intellect, peering beyond the star discovered, no star maker, but only darkness. No love, no power even, but only nothing. And yet, the heart praised. The Yangtze. A gleaming, crumpled thread rushed through its gorge. Beyond the Korean ranges and across the sea stood Fujiyama, extinct and formal. Around it, a volcanic population welled and seethed in that narrow land, like lava in a crater. Already it spilled over Asia, a flood of armies and of trade. Imagination withdrew and turned to Africa. I saw the man-made thread of water that joins west to east. Then minarets, pyramids, the ever-waiting Sphinx. Ancient Memphis itself now echoed with the rumor of Magnetostroi. Far southward, black men slept beside the great lakes. Elephants trampled the crops. Further still were Dutch and English profit by the Negro millions. Those hosts were stirred by vague dreams of freedom, peering beyond the whole bulge of Africa. Beyond the cloud-spread Table Mountain, I saw the Southern Ocean, black with storms, and then the ice cliffs with their seals and penguins, and the high snowfields of the one unpeopled continent. Imagination faced the midnight sun, crossed the pole, and passed Erebus, vomiting hot lava down his ermine. Northward it sped over the summer sea, past New Zealand, that freer but less conscious Britain, to Australia, where clear-eyed horsemen collect their flocks. Still peering eastward from my hill, I saw the Pacific strewn with islands, and then the Americas, where the descendants of Europe long ago mastered the descendants of Asia through priority in the use of guns and the arrogance that guns breed. Beside the further ocean, north and south, lay the old New World, the River Plate and Rio, the New England cities, radiating center of the old new style of life and thought. New York, dark against the afternoon sun, was a cluster of tall crystals, a Stonehenge of modern megaliths. Round this, like fishes nibbling of the feet of waders, the great liners crowded. Out at sea, also I saw them, on the plunging freighters, forging through the sunset, portholes and decks aglow. Stokers sweated at furnaces, lookout men in crow's nests shivered. Dance music, issuing from open doors, was drowned by the wind. The whole planet, the whole rocky grain with its busy swarms, I now saw as an arena where two cosmical antagonists, two spirits, were already preparing for critical struggle, already assuming terrestrial and local guise, and coming to grips in our half-awakened minds, in city upon city, in village after village, and in an innumerable lonely farmsteads. Cottages, hovels, shacks, huts. In all the crevices where 221 human creatures were intent in their little comforts and triumphs and escapes. The great struggle of our age was brewing. One antagonist appeared as the will to dare for the sake of the new, the longed for, the reasonable and joyful. World in which every man and woman may have scope to live fully and live in service of mankind. The other seemed essentially the myopic fear of the unknown, or was it more sinister? Was it the cunning will for private mastery, which fomented for its own ends the archaic, reason-hating and vindictive passion of the tribe? It seemed that in the coming storm all the dearest things must be destroyed. All private happiness, all loving, all creative work in art, science and philosophy, all intellectual scrutiny and speculative imagination, and all creative social building. All indeed that man should normally live for, seemed folly and mockery and mere self-indulgence in the presence of public calamity. But if we failed to preserve them, when would they live again? How to face such an age? How to muster courage, being capable only of homely virtues? How to do this, yet preserve the mind's integrity, never to let struggle destroy in one's own heart what one tried to serve in the world, the spirit's integrity. Two lights for guidance. The first, our little glowing atom of community, with all that it signifies. The second, the cold light of the stars, symbol of the hypercosmical reality, with its crystal ecstasy. Strange that in this light, in which even the dearest of love is frostily assessed, and even the possible defeat of our half-waking world is contemplated, without remission of praise, the human crisis does not lose but gains significance. Strange that it seems more, not less, urgent to play some part in the struggle. This brief effort of animalcules striving to win for their own race some increase of lucidity before the ultimate darkness. With that, we end today's session. I'll see you tomorrow, same time.